How do you define entrepreneurial excellence? Like, what does that actually mean to you when you hear that?
I think most people who term themselves entrepreneurs aren't really. And that's not, I'm not lobbing a grenade at anybody. I even think the word entrepreneur can be a pejorative, but I think very often people are actually inventors or craftspeople, or, you know, they're artists and they think they're entrepreneurs. I believe that the entrepreneurial endeavor is specifically the building, and dare I use the buzzword optimization, the building and optimization of businesses. And so if your obsession is product, let's say, or service or delivery or sales, like, God bless you, you're a better human. Your likelihood of going to heaven is higher than mine, and you're not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurism is building businesses. That's what it is. And so I think entrepreneurial excellence is doing the paragon, right? So it's the implementation of that process in a way that is unique to you. And those are the people that I look up to most. And I mean, the classic now example, it used to be Steve Jobs and now it's Elon Musk. I think he's the quintessential entrepreneur. And people love to say, like, oh, you know, he didn't start Tesla. He didn't start SpaceX. And I'm like, I know. And you're missing the point. That's the freaking point here, is that he doesn't need to do those things. He enters an ecosystem, identifies the solution that he wants to get behind, and then he builds the business.
Yeah, that's a great definition. I love that. So, and then why do you think, though, many people view themselves as entrepreneurs still? So, I mean, if you think about, in you know, you and I talked maybe probably a bunch about like tech companies, things like that. But there's millions of entrepreneurs out there, people who define themselves as entrepreneurs who start a coffee shop or a restaurant or a small business of some sort. Are they actually entrepreneurs in this definition, or not necessarily?
Well, no, I think it can be. Yeah. So I think it's Michael Gerber's E-Myth. I'm not the first one to say this. I might beat the drum harder than most. Michael talks about in the E-Myth, and E-Myth Revisited specifically, it's required reading and maybe on a repetitive basis. But like, if you're a baker and you open a bakery, you just ruined your life. You know, you'll never enjoy baking again. So if you're a baker that opens a bakery, you're a baker wearing the wrong hat. If you're an entrepreneur that opens a bakery, the paradigm through which you view that is going to be very, very different. And what I tell people is entrepreneurship is not fulfillment. As an example, I built the #1 ranked Google Ads agency in the world. I've never run a Google Ads campaign end-to-end in my life. I own the largest English-speaking Montessori community on the planet. I'm not a trained Montessorian. I've never owned a Montessori school. I have a 10th grade education. I had the highest performing real estate investment campaign in the United States for 7 years before I knew anything about real estate investing or lead generation. And on and on and on and on and on. So, dude, you could be coffee shop, mechanic, dry cleaner, I don't care what. As long as the fulfillment isn't the purpose, right? It's you saying like, oh, I'm going to go work on the mechanism that is the fulfillment, not the fulfillment itself. So it's kind of a meta understanding of the endeavor that is entrepreneurship.
Building and optimizing a business, almost irrespective of what kind of business it is. I mean, you're essentially saying that you are an entrepreneur because you can go take any business, irrespective of what it is, and make it into something great.
Yeah, well, and to be honest with you, you should. I think everybody sitting around looking for the next big idea is missing the point. What I tell people that want to get into entrepreneurship is go wash windows. And they think I'm kidding. It's not a bad example. If you don't know what business to start, it's called the quarter principle. If you don't know what business to start, go to Home Depot, spend $100. You'll get a bucket, a squeegee, a mop, some soap, and start washing windows. Because statistically speaking, your first business will fail only 100% of the time. So it doesn't matter what business you start. Sitting on the wings thinking about like, oh, I need the next big idea or the next whatever, the next industry. All those things are superfluous to the entrepreneurial endeavor. Go start washing windows, because you'll never find a city in the emerged world that doesn't have buildings with dirty windows. So you already know that there are people there, and you're going to learn everything there is to learn about things like outreach, customer service, fulfillment, invoice. And what's fun is you'll solve the problems in the sequence that is necessary to learn how to build businesses. You'll run around knocking on doors saying like, can I wash your windows? Can I wash your windows? And so now there's a demand gen problem, and you're going to hear no 99 times. And now there's this overcoming objection problem. And then you're going to hear yes. And you're going to shit yourself because you're like, oh God, I don't know how to take payment. I don't know how to invoice this person. I don't know. And then you'll learn like, oh, you know what? I should probably build a recurring revenue stream so I don't have to keep doing this. And all of the lessons you need to learn in business are going to be learned through the horrible business of window washing. And will that business fail? Yes, expect it to fail. But you're going to get the best education in your life for $100 spent at Home Depot. And the quarter principle says that you'll never identify the opportunity until you're on the field of battle. And so what'll happen is you're going to be running around to all these businesses, knocking on doors, trying to ask to wash your windows. And along the way, you're going to realize, I don't know, I've been knocking on doors of office buildings, and every time I walk in, the receptionist is either way too busy or not even there. I think there's a play for a virtual reception company where all I do is set up an iPad and I give people the opportunity to press this button, kind of self-direct, and then I can have a live chat, do a hot transfer, help them with their problem, and then maybe even schedule something for them. And now you have a virtual reception company, but you never, ever, ever would have found that idea if you weren't in the corridor washing your windows. So if you don't know what to do, stop with the next. Pioneers get slaughtered, settlers prosper. The next idea is the inventor mentality. The entrepreneurial mentality is traffic first, and that's how every business should be approached. Traffic is the most expensive part of all business.